G'day, I'm Stephen Page from Page, Provan Family and Fertility Lawyers, and you're listening and watching the Australian Family and Fertility Law podcast. I should say I'm from Page, Provan Family and Fertility Lawyers in Brisbane. Today's topic is about single women and IVF in Australia. The good news, established in a number of court cases in Victoria and South Australia, is that IVF is available for single women throughout Australia. You can't discriminate if you're an IVF clinic towards a single woman. And you can't because, aside from any state laws, the Federal Sex Discrimination Act says so. Good so far. But what does a single woman need? Well, clearly you need sperm. And how do you access sperm? Well, you either have a known donor, and I've got another video about known donor, or you have a clinic recruited donor. So it might be a local donor, or more likely it's an overseas donor. And it's at this point you hear about the joys of family limits. Because in Australia we don't have one system. I and other members of the Fertility Society of Australia and New Zealand have said loud and clear we need one system Australia-wide, one fertility law. But we aren't there. And so we have differing family limits through IVF clinics. 10 families Australia-wide if you're in Queensland. 5 women worldwide, can include the partner, she's under the cap, but it excludes the donor's family, so it's in reality 4 worldwide. In Victoria it's 10 and can include the partner, and seeing 10 within Australia. Tasmania, it looks like it's 10, but it's actually 5 because Tasmania is not big. The 2 clinics there have determined it's 5. ACT, 5 local within the ACT, 10 families Australia-wide. South Australia, Northern Territory, reasonable number, commonly seen as 10 families. And Western Australia, 5 internationally, including the donor's family. Excuse me. Well, you've got your donor, you think, but then you have to look at the price. And New South Wales Health, which has taken the view that it is 5 women worldwide, has upended the supply of sperm into New South Wales. Previously, clinics thought it was 5 women, and there wasn't any definition under the Assisted Reproductive Technology Act of where the 5 women were, and under usual principles of statutory interpretation, it's 5 women related to New South Wales. But no, in 2025, New South Wales Health said 5 women worldwide. That's how they firmly saw it and made threats towards clinics. The outcome, rather than spending about $2,000 for the supply of sperm in New South Wales, sperm is now available only through clinics at a much higher price, and I'll just see the figure, up to $65,000. So just imagine that. If you're interstate, for example in Queensland, you might only spend $2,000, but in New South Wales up to $65,000 for viable sperm. Many single women in New South Wales will not be able to afford sperm in New South Wales. The vast majority won't be able to afford it now. Instead, single women in New South Wales will be looking interstate, ACT, Victoria, Queensland, to access sperm rather than doing it locally, or go overseas, or go to private sperm donors and see my video about private sperm donors. Upon birth, if you've got a known sperm donor, then that known sperm donor can be a parent. So have a look at my video about known sperm donors. If you have a clinic recruited sperm donor, then the woman is the only parent. However, if she then forms a relationship during the pregnancy with another, then they might both be the parents. There's been a couple of cases recently involving a woman and a man, separate couples, where she opened the door to him to be the father early in the pregnancy, and in both cases the family court held that he was a parent. So if you're thinking of doing it and you're thinking of going through other than a clinic sperm donor and having a known donor, get legal advice. Look at my video about the rules of known donation, but get legal advice. Thank you for watching and listening. This is Australian Family and Fertility Law Podcast. I'm Stephen Page from Page Provan Family and Fertility Lawyers.